We started the gathering for this story, The Pandemic Worsens the Situation of Young Mothers in Conflict Areas, in February 2020. And it was a few weeks before the onset of the coronavirus pandemic in the Philippines. It was the last week of February when I went in Maguindanao, in Mindanao, to document the situation of young mothers and of women and children in conflict areas. So the first thing that we were trying to understand was actually how armed conflict, as well as the socio-economic condition in these poor villages, contributes as a driver for child early and forced marriages. And then the pandemic came. We decided to dig deeper and examine how the global health crisis worsens the already difficult living condition of young mothers and their children in places where there are peace and conflict issues, specifically in poor communities in the southern Philippines. This story was published in May during the first months of the coronavirus lockdown, and at that time, the people in conflict areas, especially young mothers, are left with nowhere to go as aid deliveries were lessened or stopped due to the travel restrictions. It was also noted, we also noted that the pandemic did not stop firefights or fighting between the state and non-state armed forces in many parts of the country, which made the lives of the people in poor communities even harder in the midst of the health crisis. This reporting aimed to amplify the voice of the women and children in conflict areas and bring to the attention of all the stakeholders in the country's peace and conflict situation. On behalf of News, I would like to thank Balay Mindanao and all of its partners for this recognition. We are grateful to receive the Women Peace and Security Reporting Award in Photojournalism category. As journalists, it is our duty to make the people aware of the plight of women and children in conflict areas. This reporting would not be possible without the women who shared their stories and our editors at News who helped me produce this story. This award belongs to Laikas and all the people who have worked hard to amplify the voice of the marginalized. And more importantly, we would like to thank God for guiding us as we seek justice and peace. This is not the last time that I will be covering stories on women and children, especially those who are living in conflict zones. More stories will be made, and we will dive deeper into the issues that women and children are facing today. Again, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.